Hello, I am Nicole and I go by Nikki Knows Now That, and this is my INFJ channel. I wanted to talk about the INFJ Doorslam, and I think I might consider it one of the darker sides of being an INFJ, but it's not really a dark side. It's there for our protection. Let me talk about it. So, the INFJ Doorslam is when an INFJ, which is an introverted personality type, we're led by our intuition. We turn our backs on someone, and it's a pretty cold feeling. Let me tell you something. An INFJ, I speak for myself. I give so much, and an INFJ, we're considered the rarest personality type. 3%. 3%. There's 3% of us, right, out there in the world, and it's like we turn away when a person continues to hurt us or we feel unappreciated. We are naturally warm people. An INFJ is a caregiver, and we always see, well, I don't like the word always, but we see the best in people. When we're taken advantage of, then that is where the door slam comes in. And the reason it's called a door slam is because there's no middle ground. We're not, it's like we're all in or we're all out. We prefer friendships that are meaningful, conversations that are meaningful, don't like small talk, but that's not enough to make us walk away from a person. What makes us walk away is being hurt continuously. We don't just abandon a person. The problem is we're very warm, and when a door slam comes, we are the coldest people in the room because we just nothing a person. Is like we don't really think about them. We live our life and we truly move on. There is no grace period, but it's a stage. At first, we'll try to work with the person. We'll try to talk to them, try to work things out. But if we're hurt continuously, we just walk away. And it doesn't matter how that person feels at that point. Once that door slam hits, it's literally like walking into a room, somebody slamming the door in your face. That's why I call it a confession. And for me, I think a lot of people like troll and dox me because they don't understand that. But I am loyal. I'm your friend to the end. Like, like that Chucky, but please don't think of Chucky when I say that. I love people hard, and it's genuine. INFJs are very comfortable in their skin. We know who we are. We can detect gaslighting, manipulation. You don't want to lie to an INFJ. We may not say anything about it, but we can definitely feel it. I can't pronounce that word. I'm a healer or empath. So for me, I have to protect my energy. And when I walk away, I'm not really proud of this, but I'm not unproud of it either. I just feel nothing because that person that I walked away from has become toxic, and narcissists and narcissistic personality types are drawn to INFJs because we're caregivers. An INFJ needs no validation from anyone else. We know who we are, and we are more likely to stick up for the underdog or to stand up to a bully than we are for ourselves. Like, you can talk about INFJ, you can put an INFJ down, but we're more likely to stand up to someone else or for someone else who's vulnerable, who can't defend themselves. Let me share something with you because there's stages to this door slam, right? And I want to share that with you. Okay, the 4 stages of the INFJ door slam. The first one, the INFJ gives the other person the benefit of the doubt. Others will reject the person more quickly. This is true. INFJs will continue to support and see the person's potential. So that's why a lot of people will ask me, sharing from personal experiences, when I'm dealing with someone, why did I give that person a second chance? Why did I not kick them from my panel, or things like that? And the reason why is because an INFJ is not likely to hold a grudge. We work with that person, and we are very forgiving as far as that goes. So this is what I mean about the INFJ door slam. There's 4 stages to it. Okay, that's the first stage, trying to work with that person. A lot of people even that same person we're trying to deal with, they'll walk away from another person quickly. But an INFJ will hang in there because we are very understanding and we truly see the best in people, and we have this habit of wanting to help people because we're natural caregivers, right? That's the first stage. The second stage is festering resentment. I kind of hate the word festering because it makes me think of a blister, but it's like that, right? Festering resentment. If the other party resorts to manipulation and pity parties, an INFJ will still stay engaged but begin to feel resentment. That's the second stage. So that's a lot of times with me when I'm dealing with someone, I still hang in there, but I start to feel that resentment and I still hang in there trying to hope for the best in a person. But now I'm starting to feel more down. I'm starting to feel unappreciated, but I'm still not willing to give up, especially when the manipulation of another person comes in. Then we see it, we feel it, and our intuitions are so spot on. That is why it's a rare type. We're led by our intuition, not by other people's logic, and we're so in tune with our senses, right? So that is the second stage, festering resentment. The third stage is the door slam. INFJ decides it's not worth it to invest their limited resources in this person. The door slam is likely silent but merciless. All right. I'm going to read the fourth one because it goes hand in hand, right? The fallout. This is the part that makes people upset with me. Hi, King. Hi, Caribbean. How are you guys? Thank you. Welcome. Good seeing you, King, again. The INFJ, when I say it's merciless, I mean that I feel that it's cold because a lot of other people or personality types will, let me give that person another chance. When the INFJ door slam hits, it's silent, and it's because we're not thinking about you at this point, and you're not feeling good or wanting us to come back because the love that you feel from an INFJ is not manipulative, it's real. When we don't feel that anymore, our resources are limited, resources as far as our emotions and our feelings, because we pour so much into another person. It feels, wow. Then the manipulation tactics come in from the other person that we walked away from. Like, wow, if that person was so loving, why don't they want to forgive me? No, because we've tried again and again. And when we walk away, it's because the other person has pushed us to way past our boundaries. And because we've tried so hard, we're just simply not interested. Here's the fourth stage, the fallout. In ongoing interactions, then the INFJ will likely be harsh. To the INFJ, the door slam person is essentially dead in their eyes. That's the hard part. Let me read the four stages again, right? I feel a lot of people, when they hit the stage with me, they have a hard time understanding it. And even though this is why I don't respond to smear campaigns at this point. I don't care when someone's trying to get my attention by saying, hey, we need to talk about this, because an INFJ would have already tried that. They've tried it more than other people. And because of the caregiving nature of an INFJ, the door slam is there to protect them, because we attract narcissistic personality types. A narcissist, I'm not talking about narcissistic personality disorder. I'm talking about the behavior types that we see online a lot. That narcissist is drawn to the caregiver, and a narcissist's characteristics can seem like an INFJ, but the INFJ is not going to fall out of character. An INFJ is who the INFJ is, and we're extremely honest in who we are. When we walk away, it's because that other person has pushed us there, and people get upset with an INFJ. But the problem is this: an INFJ doesn't care, because we have an inner world within ourselves. I need my downtime. I need that. My social interactions, we seem like an extrovert because when we are in a situation, we rise to the occasion. We're extroverted when we have to be. The difference from an extrovert and an introvert is the introvert needs that downtime to regain their energy. So INFJs are introverts. If I were to be in a social situation all the time, it would be really bad for my mental stability and my mental health because I wouldn't be able to handle it. If I am a very caring person, but I'm taken advantage of to default like a lot of other INFJs, but we're strong in who we are. We just have a quiet nature. But I believe the INFJ Doorslam protects us from people that would take advantage of us because, again, we draw people who will take advantage of us. Let me go through these 4 stages again, okay? And this is the INFJ Doorslam. The first stage, the INFJ gives the other person the benefit of the doubt. Others will reject the person more quickly, and INFJ will continue to support the person's potential. That's so true. The second stage, festering resentment. If the other party resorts to manipulation and pity parties, an INFJ will stay engaged but begin to feel resentment. At this point in the stage, we're still willing to work it out. And if that other person, even though you'll see them with the online now, we see the smear campaigns, we see another person doing triangulation, trying to make people feel that INFJ is a bad person because, oh my goodness, that INFJ is playing the victim, and then themselves are playing the victim themselves. And INFJ is not going to walk away from someone. We're so committed, and we feel our energy. We drain because we use our energy. We can feel what a person needs. We can feel. We're very sensitive to others' needs, regardless if it's reciprocated. That's not going to make us walk away. All right. So festering resentment. If the other party resorts to manipulation and pity parties, an INFJ will stay engaged. All right. But that resentment is there. The third stage is the INFJ Doorslam. The INFJ decides it's not worth it to invest their limited resources in the other person. The Doorslam is likely silent, but it's merciless. So walk away and a person is asking me for closure. No, I don't feel that that person deserves it, nor I feel like that's a sense of entitlement where, oh my goodness, you need to walk away the way I want you to walk away. No, I'm just going to walk away because I've tried and tried. Other INFJ personality type is a caregiver. And the problem is it's silent, but it's merciless, meaning that there is no gray area. We're in or we're out because we want to spend our time with people that we care about. And we naturally care about people. We naturally respect people. But if we feel like it's taken for granted, we're going to walk away. And that's just an INFJ thing. And that's, to me, what's considered one of the dark sides about being an INFJ. But INFJs have to be pushed there. And it's not something petty. It's a continuous, some type of abuse. It could be emotional. It could be physical even. But if we feel unappreciated and the other person isn't getting it, it's not going to keep an INFJ. An INFJ, we're loyal, we're faithful to people, but we are very in tune with ourselves, and we know when somebody's gaslighting us. Gaslighting is, the word thing. I'll get into that another day. But an INFJ will stay longer than an average person because we believe that we can fix people, right? And a healthy INFJ will know when they cannot, because an INFJ can easily fall into a depression and hit a critical state if they're not aware of when to walk away. That is the third stage. The fourth stage is the fallout. And this is the part that will get an INFJ slandered a lot because it's so cold. It's so opposite of our natural caring nature. All right. The fallout in ingoing interactions, the INFJ will likely be harsh. To the INFJ, the Doorslam person is essentially dead in their eyes. So what I like to tell people is, I don't hate you. I just nothing you. And that sounds so cold. I know. But it just means that I totally don't think about that person. It's like out of sight, out of mind. But I can talk to a person if I see them in public, but really there's no feelings there. It's truly gone. And that's why I am really grateful for the INFJ Doorslam. That's why I called it my confessions, because I am INFJ, because it protects me from getting hurt and from depleting my energy on someone who isn't worth my time because I feel, and it's not anything petty. It's like a constant mistreatment of another person. So if I'm constantly mistreated, then I just walk away, and it is silent. There is no announcement about it. In my heart, in my mind, that person is already gone to me. So that's what I mean by my confessions. Thank you so much for hearing me out and listening to me. That's the INFJ world for you. I'm an INFJ, and I would love to hear about whatever your personality type is and how it affects you and some of the pros and cons. So feel free to comment. Thank you so much, Caribbean Freddie. I am going to eventually make videos on this page, but right now I just prefer to speak openly about stuff like this. But I'll eventually have panels and I'll make videos, but I'm still developing this page. It's a look into it. If you find yourself naturally able to feel what another person is going through, definitely like a sixth sense. I'm very in tune with that. Look into the INFJ personality type. I think it's called Myers. What is that? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the behavior assessment test, whatever that's called. It's like that. Let me read something to you. Maybe this, if you can identify with this, Freddie, maybe. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Maybe this will help some. The INFJ. Let me drink some water. Okay, the Doorslam of an INFJ. There's this thing called the INFJ Doorslam. People talk about it. Other personality types trash it, but few people try to explain it in simple terms. It's different for everyone, no doubt, but in simple terms, it's like this. The INFJ Doorslam is what happens when we are burned out by unresolved emotions. So we resolve this issue by deciding that the relationship is over. INFJs are deeply emotional creatures. We don't feel as much as it looks like we do. That's mirroring, which is a whole other topic. But when we feel deeply and fully. That means that we burn out. If we are emotionally toyed with, abused, or overloaded, and there is no end to the emotional assault in sight, we have to do something. Unlike some other types, like you said, Freddie, Brigham Myers, the MBTI Meyer Briggs. Right. Oh, thank you, Don Cato. And Freddie, I appreciate that. Okay. Let me go back. INFJs are deeply emotional creatures. If anyone knows me personally, I am deeply emotional creature. We don't feel as much as it looks like we do. That's mirroring. But when we feel deeply and fully. I cry easily. That means that we burn out. If we are emotionally toyed with, abused, or overloaded, and there is no end to the emotional assault in sight, we have to do something. Unlike some other types, we cannot simply live with or ignore that emotional onslaught. We crave resolution. I crave resolution. If we cannot get it, whether it is denied or the situation is just ignored, we resolve it ourselves. Frequently, we resolve it by ending the emotional ties that overload us in the first place. The INFJ Doorslam is not some abusive act out of anger. That's important to know. It is not an act of revenge. It's not an act of revenge. It is an act of self-preservation, and once those emotional ties are severed, it is almost impossible to reattach them. If you're INFJ, if I am angry or crying, things can be repaired. If they're coolly friendly and ambivalent, you may have a Doorslam problem. So you can see the emotions of me on me. But once you see me, I stay friendly, and it's like a cool friendly and ambivalent. I'm not sure what that word means, but that is the Doorslam. So when someone asks me, why did I talk to this person or why did I respond to their phone calls if I don't like them? I just nothing them. I deal with people who I care about and I feel emotional. But once I can't resolve that, those emotions go away and you don't see that anymore. I'm extremely polite and I naturally love people. But if you're dealing with an INFJ and that person is emotionless or they simply don't care to talk to you anymore, then you have experienced the door slam. And once that door slam comes, it is almost impossible to open it back up because I've used all of my emotions on you, and that is just not going to come back. And it's not an act of revenge. It's not because I still wish that person well. But as far as my life goes, my life is committed to people that I care about. And I care about people just because they're people. If I'm emotionally abused or I feel taken advantage of, and there's no uh, resolve it, there's no way to make this right, I simply am just not invested and I simply just don't care. And that is why a lot of people criticize an INFJ. We're very loving and we're very nurturing, but if we walk away, it's because the other person became toxic to us. And you cannot do things, like we easily can see deflection, we easily see manipulation, gaslighting, triangulation. We feel it way before another person will see it. And that's because we're led by intuition. The difference from being led by your intuition and logic, don't get me wrong, we need other personality types, right? You don't want to roll for the INFJs, but an INFJ is a special it's a special thing. It's a hard thing to be an INFJ because we care about people to a fault and we're caregivers. I will give my last to someone if it helps. But the problem is we draw other people who are takers instead of, and they will deplete our energy. So an INFJ, to protect themselves, we walk away and it's silent. So that closure that people want, that they feel they need, they're not going to get it from INFJ, because once an INFJ walks away, we already got that closure in our brain, because remember the steps. We have tried to resolve the issue. And I am interested in what other people think about that. As an INFJ, I'm just simply not interested in a person once I walk away, but I have no problem talking to that person. But if you see that I don't have any emotions, it's because I don't, right? I either love you, I care about you, or I simply just nothing you. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but that comes from abuse. And the only way to protect myself from that abuse is to protect and guard my heart. And the fact that I'm very aware of it, very honest about it. Again, am I saying that's the best way to be? No, but that is what I feel is an INFJ confession, because it conflicts directly. An INFJ is full of contradictions, as far as we can see what's good for another person, can't really see what's good for ourselves. Sometimes we help each other, we help someone else to a fault. We can see what you need to do, can't really see ourselves. Like, well, I know that I'm full of double standards sometimes, but you know what? It's not a bad double standard. It's like I want the best in someone else, but I will let somebody else abuse me. But once I've had enough, because that abuse has to come with a light at the end of the tunnel. It has to be me trying, and we're making progress. Once I see we're not making progress, that warm nature that you see in me becomes cold in the fact that if somebody's really warm and caring towards you, you definitely feel the difference. When an INFJ cares about you, an INFJ cares to a fault. But if that INFJ is pushed into a corner and it becomes like toxic and abusive, that INFJ walks away and it's silent. All right. So I just wanted you guys to understand that. Thank you, King. That's what I have to say about that. Caribbean Freddie says, I think about life a lot. I'm very fascinated with space and time, like very obsessive about where we come from. Freddie, try that test. I am interested in what your personality type is, and I would love to know. So explore that a little bit. There's other personality types that there's personality types that have the I in it. They're not led by intuition like an INFJ, but they still have high intuition. So it would be really cool to know what you are. And yeah, I think I think that would be interesting. I just like that kind of stuff. So um let me read one more thing before I go. Okay, because I've studied this a lot before I went through these things with the therapist, because I was having a lot of trouble with the pulling away part, and it was affecting my mental health. So I definitely had to speak to a therapist about this. But let me read this. Why the types are dangerous. INFJ. I don't know. They want to be the very best. That's why I said it's INFJ confessions. I'm gonna share this with you, and then I'm going to wish you a good night. Okay? They want to be. I'm gonna read 6 more things. They want to be the very best, like no one ever was. For real. That's number 1. Number 2, experts at concealing their emotions from everyone. Number 3, they soak in information like a sponge, and you'll never even notice it. It's true. Number 4, INFJs can be hypercritical of everything and everyone. If you ask for the truth, you're going to get roasted. I don't really like that word, but yeah, we are very comfortable with the truth, and our minds don't even work in a way that's like going to manipulate it, because we're very comfortable with the truth. Number 5, we have a secretive, I say we, but I said they because, but I'm an INFJ, so I'm going to say we. We have a secretive and mysterious air about us that makes us look shady as heck. But that's just because we're actually private. And yeah. Number 6, INFJs have a presence about them that you will always miss until you are with them again. That's why the INFJ. That's how the INFJ. That's why the Doorslam hurts. Let me tell you how to spot an INFJ. An INFJ mentally snaps when perfectionist visions do not transcend into reality. We open up about our feelings only to apologize for it afterwards. We still feel like a mystery despite how much we've revealed to you. We will like vomit a jumble of words when talking, but we can write like Nobel Prize winning poets. And this is from an article in MBTI Real Life. Okay, these aren't mine. We'll say anything extremely intelligently, then accidentally run into a wall. In one of my videos when I was posting with my mom, and I was talking about, I asked my mom what was it like to have an INFJ daughter, and I asked my daughter, and then I ran into a wall. In the video. It's one of the first videos I posted. So there you have it, and that's just how we feel. I never knew about this. Society just labels you normal or abnormal. Yeah, so that's why it's important, Freddie. I agree. Look into it. It's there's so much that we can learn about ourselves. I'm still learning about myself, and so I encourage you to explore it, because again, look at the other personality types, especially if it just take a look at it, and themaybe try some of the tests and just see where you fall. Be interesting. There's good and bad in there's good and bad. I'm not saying that INFJ is any better or worse than anyone else, but we definitely have some things that's hard to understand or explain. But just know, if you know an INFJ, you have a very special friend, because that friend is in it, and it takes a lot. It's not just a one-time thing. It takes things repeatedly for us to walk away. And there you have it. That's part of my INFJ confession, and I will be here with you more. I am still learning about myself, and I just can't wait to hear more about your personality types. And feel free to like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you like this kind of stuff. If you dislike, it helps me to know what to talk about. So have a good night, Freddie. I look forward to hearing more about what you have to say. Thank you, Don Cato. Hey, King. And for those listening in the clouds, I appreciate you, and just have a good night. Okay? Take care.